being a migraine and headache tracker is an understatement, I think. You're building a ton of features on top of a problem that, as you already mentioned, is huge. 12% of the population has this problem. So you're helping a lot of these individuals find track patterns. I mean, you're crowdsourcing learnings, you're predicting attacks, you're finding the best relief programs, you have coach plans, you have people could record their sleep, you could generate attack reports. There's a lot.
Yeah.
You kind of already mentioned it, but what was that big push to have your team focus on migraines first? I mean, you talked about how you went towards stroke, and you get a lot of feedback from neurologists about going into migraines. Was that the start?
It's so we considered carefully multiple conditions, and we went to discuss with neurologists, we went to discuss with patients, and we, in the end, we did what many startups do, is that we did a matrix simply, and we checked what would be the underserved places with a big need. So we went to check those elements, such as where will we be able to gather meaningful data, high quality data? Where will we be able to make something which is actually useful for the patient and for the doctor now, not in 10 years, now? Where is the need really underserved? So going in diabetes, for example, would have been, I would say, sorry, but probably not the best choice for us, because there was already tons of people in diabetes. And we checked also, where do we expect to see progress in terms of drug development? So with my background, I went to check the clinical trials, the state of the drugs coming on the market in the next 5 years. And we saw that there was a big need. We also considered technically, as I mentioned, where would we be able to train with features, because it's not the same to work on machine learning, unsupervised or supervised machine learning. When you have to make something which is helping the patient or the doctors in making choices on the long run, you will have it's far easier to do it with supervised learning. I know that unsupervised deep learning is far more fanciful, but in healthcare, I'd rather go to the FDA with supervised learning and be able to adjust that and to put more features with supervised learning. So that's also one thing that we wanted to do. The other part is, we saw that the problem here is not just about the quantity of the data, it's also about the quality of the data. By quality, I don't mean that healthcare is wrong in terms of data, but I mean that in many cases, the data you gather is really incomplete in time. If you take the drug history of the patient, would you guess how much the doctors trust what they have in the medical records? What percentage of how often do they think that they can trust the medical records when it's about checking the drug history of their patients?
I would guess pretty high, but I feel like it's not.
It's 90% wrong. In 90% of the cases in the field of CNS, central nervous system, mental health and everything, the neurologists tell us, in 90% of the cases, I know that what is written in that medical record is wrong. I cannot trust it. Why? Because first, the doctor is not necessarily passionate about data entry. He did not necessarily study that long to be somebody who's a pro of SNOMED or all those encoding and habits. And if he's arriving on NSAID and NSAIDs, he will just push here and he will not necessarily put that it was naproxen 10 milligrams after. That's one thing. The other point here is that the patient may be prescribed something, but do you know what happens after the prescription? Have you ever had that case where you took it at the pharmacy, but maybe you did not use it after? So what is in the medical record is what the patient was prescribed. It's not what he took. And that's also a big difference. And so we identified those problems which are potentially also completely making any predictives derail, but also making any natural intelligence decision go completely wrong because of the problem of information. And we, on migraine, we consider migraine, we consider epilepsy, we considered also something to which we are going, which is immunology. And we found that in those places, this information problem was massive. And with a good tracker, with the right motivations, we could make this work a lot better with a mix of information which are coming from the patient and from sensors from the environment.